25th week of gestation in the lunar calendar, in which each month has only 4 full weeks. You enter your 7th month. But in our calendar, this normal one of our agenda, you are 6.5 months. Congratulations to you. And if you want to know everything that is happening with your body, belly size, your baby, video of the baby, how he is doing, the biggest news, stay with me and I will tell you. Hello, I'm Monica Romero. I'm really happy to have you here with me for 6.5 months, huh? We can no longer see ourselves as an individual. We see ourselves pregnant. We see ourselves with our child. After all, everything we do ends up reflecting on our baby. What we eat, where we go, if we try too hard, if we manage to rest a little, we also already notice this difference. It's natural for this to happen. It will last even after the baby is born, because you are creating such a strong, intense connection that we live on them for a long time. After pregnancy, it is natural for this to happen. And speaking of pregnancy, let's talk about that belly. Look how much she's grown since day one. Your gestation. Today, your uterus is the size of a soccer ball. Your organs, because of this, become more squeezed, poor people, but they are working. Slower, but they are working. And this week is the week to give you a warning. We start brushing our teeth, suddenly blood on the toothbrush. What do you mean? Because of the hormones of pregnancy, it also changes our saliva pH a little, leaving our teeth more sensitive to cavities and our gums more prone to gingivitis. Remembering that dental problems can even cause premature birth, so it is very important that you visit your dentist to continue brushing your teeth, even if it is causing this bleeding. But look, the dentist is continuing to pass your dental end. Even if it is causing bleeding, oral hygiene is extremely important, including and also especially during pregnancy. The ligaments throughout your body are working hard there to not only sustain this pregnancy, but to prepare your body as well. What's this gonna happen? We may feel some pain. The most famous is pelvic pain, or pain in the pepexa, or pain in the round ligament, which is this ligament that is here in blue, that it is becoming super stretched. And as it stretches, we feel the pain that goes from here, from above the belly. We have a ligament on each side of the belly, and it goes there under the pubic bone. That's why we feel this pain a lot in the pit and get desperate because, oh, little pain, it's difficult. And when we try too hard, we push too hard, we stand too hard. We can feel pain in other ligaments, in other muscles as well, in some nerves, such as the sciatic. What I'm going to ask you is that if you keep doing moderate physical activity, like walking, it's very good for you and your baby and also for your body, and also stretch a little. If you have 11 professionals to help you, even better. If you don't, you can make those alarms that we do at home. You know, take the little leg to the side, put the little leg, then to the other, stretch your arms a little. This can bring a little more comfort to you. And if none of this is solving a monobath, it helps a lot to let that little water from the shower hit your back in the part down here, you know, there in the lumbar. Wow, it's a lot of relief. However, immersion bath, that is, we stay in the water. It is not indicated during pregnancy because if it gets too hot, it can increase your body temperature, and this is not legal, neither for you, nor for your baby, nor for your blood pressure, which can fall. So I will ask you, if you are going to take a immersion bath, talk to your doctor first to see suitable temperature. Suddenly, you even buy a thermometer that you will use even after the baby is born to measure the temperature of his water and do the same thing in yours. That might help. And since I'm talking about blood pressure, I'm going to ask you to ask for an alert. I'm not going to give you an alert. This is very important. During pregnancy, you may have preeclampsia, and one of its symptoms is increased blood pressure. So if you have bleeding, pain, dizziness, it feels like I can measure it, right? And see that your blood pressure is high. Seek medical help immediately. Look for a hospital or maternity hospital that has obstetric care. All right? Hospitals that don't have obstetric care, they will not be able to provide you with proper care. So, have you made that list yet? Do you remember what I told you in the previous weeks? You already made that little list of which hospitals you can go to, right? If you haven't done it, do it now, you're late. But there's still time. Make this little list so that you can organize yourself. And if you have any need, an emergency, you know where to go. Desperation is a little more controlled. Speaking of desperation, controlled, how's that trousseau looking there, huh? How do we make a nice trousseau schedule so that we can do everything we need without getting desperate? I have some tips for you. I have videos on this too, but what will help? A more or less monthly split. So in the first month, that's everything, it's new, we have to see where we can find it. A tip, Almanac of Parents has all the information you are looking for here. The second month is a month that you are already doing your exams, you are already under medical monitoring. It's that month that you fortify the information you're already getting, right? It is about your pregnancy and begins to focus on food. Exercise for you to start organizing your routine. What about the changes? Now, around the 6th month, you should have already planned the baby's room because some furniture can take 2 to 3 months to arrive, such as the crib or a wardrobe. Then you have to plan. You also have to plan if there will be any renovation in the room, a painting, some work, and this has to be happening now for you to have peace of mind, okay? So 6th month is the important month for these organizations, and you can already start buying the baby's first items. Since 20 weeks, you already know the sex of the baby. Can you start planning the trousseau? We prioritize what is extremely necessary in the trousseau, which are children's clothes, toiletries for bathing, such as the bathtub, and this is very important. The part of the diaper, changing, having the cotton for you to wet in the water to clean the butt is not to use for now. Those wipes leave for when you leave home. When you have at home, cotton moistened in warm water is enough. Then a thermos bottle saves your life, see? Leave the thermos near there, in the baby's room, near the changing room. It helps a lot, okay? And this part of feeding, bottles, pacifiers, you don't need to invest in it now. Because if he's going to breastfeed, if he has a good one, he'll catch you. If he doesn't get hurt, you'll only buy a bottle after 6 months. The pacifier is not recommended, but if you want to use it too, it will be something you will need there in the course of your routine, so you don't need to invest in it now either. And stroller is also one of the expensive things that we will have to divide on the card there several times. But it is one of the important things for you to leave the house with your baby, remembering that he will have to go to open places, shopping malls. Imagine an air, everyone closed with everyone inside. The chance of illness is very high then. Shopping isn't a very nice place to go, is it? But then this part of the trousseau you have to organize now with 6 months. Then you will have the 7th and 8th month to complete everything that has already been done. Done, organize the little room, and in the owner month, the only thing you will do is assemble the maternity suitcase. Why wash? Little clothes, these things can be done in 8th grade and you can wash them in the machine. You don't have to wash it by hand, okay? Only wash them individually rather than putting them together with the adults' clothes. You can wash these clothes by yourself and with your own soap, a soap that is neutral to drink, that does not have many smells. Speaking of smells, there's a really cool thing I'm going to tell you about her right now. I'm going to give you a spoiler because it's at 28 weeks that every olfactory part of the baby is formed, and he already starts to smell the smells of amniotic fluid and the smell of mom and even the smell of milk. But that information will be complete there with 28 weeks. And the last thing about you are your exams. So have you done your 2nd trimester exams yet? Have a blood count to see how the toxin is. If you have already had it, if you haven't had it, to check. Called first to see if you have anemia, and have the test most feared by pregnant women, which is that test, sugar test or glucose test. Its acronym is TOTG, oral glucose tolerance test, that women will have to take a super sweet liquid, and many end up feeling sick, and a lot of women are dying, scared of this exam. If you did, tell me in the comments, how was this exam? How did it go? Whether or not you have diabetes. Sensational. This is very important information for us to share and be able to guide our pregnant women. Beautiful little bellies, which I love. And by the way, just a reminder, you let it be liked in this video. Oh, I'll start talking about your baby. There will be a video of your baby. I deserve your likes. Go put it here for me and I'll wait. All right, let's go. Let's talk about your baby. So your baby is already 22 centimeters from head to butt. Look what a beautiful baby. And if we consider the legs, it reaches 30 to 33 centimeters. Last week, he was weighing a pound, remember? And I told you he was going to gain about 200 G. Mission given is mission accomplished. If your baby is weighing around 700 grams this week and can reach 840 grams by the end of this week, he is gaining weight, and this is also reflecting on your scale. You're winning too, aren't you? His arms and legs are already proportional in size, and the big news this week is that his nostril has opened, his nose has opened. Then he will start in a still primitive way, identifying smells that are in the amniotic fluid. Those are food smells. It will identify the mother's smell and even the milk when you are producing it, because it can also recognize it. Unlike what some people believed, we have it in a very primitive way, but it is more apparent in fetuses, an organ called Jacobson's organ or vomeronasal organ. Look what a difficult name this organ would be to feel ferocious hormones. It is very common in mammals, and they will smell, for example, it is sexual odors to know aggression, so they serve much more for behavior. But in humans, despite the baby having this organ, it seems that a little bit larger, it will decrease until actionation. It will now begin to decrease. Smells even they will feel, because one of their most refined senses at birth is smell. A baby's sense of smell is much better than that of an adult man or woman. And this so that he can identify already in the belly and then outside it the mother's smell, the smell of milk. And some people believe that they are able to identify even other smells. There is a very interesting research that you can do with your baby when he is born, and you will see that it is true. If you put a t-shirt of yours with your body odor on one side and on the other side of someone else, you will see that it will always turn to yours. When we put perfume or some very smelly things on our body, this ends up hindering the baby to identify the smell. So, as your baby is born, avoid using any product, any perfume that can bring many odors that hide your natural smell, your body smell, because it is this smell that he will seek. Even though your baby already has little hair, that hair probably won't be what he'll have in his adult life. He may be born blonde with curly hair, and suddenly that hair falls out after he is born, and he will turn into a brunette with straight hair or any other shade. The shape of hair, so the shape that the baby is born, cannot be trusted. Just like your little eyes will not be born with the final color. They need external light to be able to form their final color. And what can take up to a year, huh? It might take a little while, right? Your baby, very naughty, is full of space still inside your uterus, which is almost the size of a soccer ball. So you imagine a soccer ball and imagine a little baby there, 30 centimeters, right? Considering the little leg, or with the bent leg, 22. You will see that he can change his position a lot. That's why now we don't worry too much about the baby's position. It's pelvic, cephalic. Calm down, I'll explain all this to you. We don't worry too much. Since he has a lot of space, he is exploring, and he has more to explore even. It's very tasty stuff. But at the time of the ultrasound, it seems that he chooses the worst image, right? Just so we don't see the sex, we don't see the face properly, the hand is in front, they are too sumptuous, and it has always been in the ultrasound house. There is a tip, that is to eat a little chocolate about 15 minutes before. Because my baby gets more agitated, that he feels the taste for the amniotic fluid, and at the same time he feels the sugar of the chocolate in his body, that his blood is sending to him. So he gets more agitated, he will have more positions. Suddenly there is a good catch for. To do that 3D or 4D ultrasound that we love, your baby's heartbeat continues to accelerate. It's at least twice as fast as yours, except for the ultrasound, right? That our heart speeds up faster than his, from so much emotion to see that little heart, to hear that tum-tum delicious. And some mothers, they even invest in Doppler kit to listen to the baby. Remembering that he is moving, it is a great sign of vitality. So if it's not a high-risk pregnancy, or if it doesn't have an indication, you don't need to spend on it. But some mothers really like this idea. And lastly, the thinner vessels now for blood circulation are just starving, and they are responsible for sending blood to the cells. So the capillaries, information. In my nutrition tip this week, I want to help you get rid of such constipation. Business is ugly there. Wow, in my pregnancy, how desperate. There are some tips that I'm going to give you. First, behavior, then we go to food, okay? The first is you have a habit of always going to the bathroom at the same time. This helps our biological, physiological clock better understand when it is time for you to go to the bathroom, for example, when you wake up. Might be a good time for you Suddenly the best time is before bed, before the bath. So you can take it and always go there, sit down, play the game on your cell phone, pick up some magazine to read, watch a video of your parents' almanac, and stay there for a while. This can already help your gut understand that that time is the separate time for it. The second is, drink plenty of fluids. The longer feces stay in our intestines, the less liquid they will have. They are losing fluid, so it is important that we replace it so as not to have too much dryness. And finally, ingest fiber that increases the fecal cake. What does that mean? The fibers, they are not digested, they will increase the amount of stool. When you have a larger amount, bowel movements called peristaltics, they will get to work better to take that fecal cake down because you have increased the amount. And where do we find a lot of fiber, Monica, and cereals, whole grain breads, vegetables and fruits such as papaya, melon, orange, plum, mango. And in the case of plum, you can still soak that dried plum and drink that water. It also helps a lot. About medications to loosen the intestine, only with prescription from your doctor combined. And in my tip of the week, I was saying that now is a good time for trousseau, right? But tell me, what is this confusion that we have so many sizes, right? It goes from premature, passes through the newborn, then it's 3 months old, 6912. Others are PPP, GG, GM. Which one do we buy? And when we go to OG of one brand is different the size of the G of the other, or if not OG of the same brand, gives a beautiful difference, yeah. Unfortunately, we will only understand how much our baby wears, and believe me, you will look at the piece and will know, but this will take a little while. Baby is in your lap. You will look at this and it no longer serves. Oops, this one will definitely work, but we will need a little look trained as a mother, a baby, on our lap, on our belly. We don't know. One tip I will give you is for you not to invest too much in RN parts. Why? Because maybe your baby will be born big, and if he's born big, sometimes doesn't even fit Orn. He'll wear maybe 12 weeks. It's better to wear loose clothes that last longer, right? If you are going to make a trousseau abroad, then it is worth taking about 34 pieces RN because the price there may be more worthwhile. But if you're doing it here, don't invest too much in these parts, okay? It's 11 insured. I know it's exciting to buy trousers. He's going to take it easy. He's going to use my parts more, my G parts. These will be used a little more, but still very short. So, what's my tip on this? My tip is to buy a little in the trousseau. I know it's a delight to buy everything. Let to buy some pieces after your baby is born. It will be even a nice ride for you to leave a little house. We already imagine how he will be with that outfit. Prepare your heart not to wear several clothes you bought, see? To use once and will not serve again because it grows too much. They grow up so fast like that, oh blink of an eye. Keep an eye on the stations, okay? When will he be born? How old will he be at each station? For you to plan your trousseau and to make your life easier, I will leave here in the description of the video 2 lists of trousseau. A super lean, which is just a guide for us to get started, is good for the first weeks of life of the baby, and another for those who will make trousseau abroad or will travel, goes to a store, and will get many promotions. There are some stores, some franchises, including here in Brazil. For this little outfit, which is just for children's clothes, that they sell new and semi-new clothes, suddenly it can be a good investment because baby clothes are used so little that Our Lady sometimes spends a fortune. We will even be sad. So there are some very cool options. So do a research like this in your city. Do you have any of these stores? Suddenly you're going to make great savings, find amazing pieces, but you give that little check on the piece first. See? You don't just take it, then you have to look if the button is there, if the seam is well done, compare the size there, if it is suitable. It is good to do this guide, so you can be sure that you will make a good purchase. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a short one for me. See you in the next video.